Hello everybody and welcome back to another video and to another episode of My Thoughts, where I discuss my thoughts on upcoming Cars news and Diecast reveals and all that. Throughout the past few weeks, there have been a lot of fake 2023 Cars Diecast rumors floating around, but we finally have some legitimate stuff. We've had some legitimate stuff for some time now, but with all the fake stuff floating around, I've been a little concerned about reporting on it. But the other day, we got images of 3 new diecasts for the first wave of 2022, reported on by Trunk Fresh Green 34, who's been a very reputable source in the Cars community for several years now. We have Gearster Marshall, who I believe was rumored. I think we already knew we were getting him on one of the legitimate rumor lists that came out. And we have 2023 re-release variants of Road Trip McQueen and Road Trip Mater. Typically, I wouldn't make a whole video on just these 3, but they all have really interesting details that I really want to talk about. It'll probably take me the least amount of time to talk about Gearster Marshall, so let's get started with him. He's just another Salt Flats guy. It's as simple as that. He was in the background of the Salt Fever episode at several points. I definitely would have preferred to get basically anyone from any other episode instead of just another Salt Flats guy, but it's fine. You know, they're basically tackling all the Salt Flats characters they can first, because those are probably going to sell the best with kids, because they're super high-speed race cars, right? And Gearster here is perfectly fine. He's got a new mold. He's pretty similar to RevoCost, but I believe this is a new mold. And, yeah, I honestly quite like him. Not my favorite of these Salt Flats racers, but still a pretty cool one, and I like the fact that we're getting one of the more background ones. You know, a lot of the Salt Flats ones we've been getting so far have been ones that are focused on That's Jammin' and RevoCost and Royce Revely. Yeah, they don't speak, but they're still focused on for a whole shot of the episode. Gearster here, he's just hanging out in the background at several points. And it should be noted that unlike all the other Salt Flats cars we've gotten so far, his wheels are black. His tires, are black instead of completely white like all the other Salt Flats cars have been, which is something I have not been a big fan of, and I know a lot of people haven't really liked that. For whatever reason, they chose to make any character from the Salt Flats have completely white tires. They didn't even try to make it look realistic like they did with the wheels for the ice racers or the beach racers. They just fully painted them white. And Gearster is the first one to not have that. Now, I don't know if this is them changing it, in which case I think it would be a change for the better, or if this is just a one-time inconsistency and the next Salt Flats guy, if there is one, will have white tires again. I don't know. I think if this is them deciding to change things, then it's too little too late, right? You already did the majority of the major Salt Flats characters for 2022, and if you're going into 2023 no longer doing the white tires thing, why did you even do it in the first place? Maybe it's because of backlash. Maybe they realized it doesn't look too good. But honestly, I'm leaning more towards this might just be a one-time thing where they just inconsistently give Gearster black tires instead of white ones. I guess only time will tell. Either way, I just wish all the Salt Flats racers had black tires instead of weird-looking, unrealistic white tires. Anyway, though, Gearster's cool. But now on to McQueen and Mater, who, despite just being Road Trip McQueen and regular old Mater, still labeled as Road Trip Mater, they're actually the highlights of these 3 reveals to me because they're actually different. Both of them are using different artwork, while Road Trip Mater's artwork is basically the same as the artwork he used for 2023. It's his generic render for On the Road. It just looks like it's kind of flipped. It's facing the other way. Maybe the face is slightly different. McQueen has a fully new render. We've gotten a few renders for On the Road McQueen already, and I don't really know how I feel about this one. I think the other ones do a much better job at presenting what McQueen's supposed to look like, while this artwork here looks a bit more like just like a screenshot that was copied and pasted onto this background. I don't think it's a bad looking artwork. I don't really know how I feel about it. It looks very much like a screenshot, but I like the fact that it's different. And it doesn't seem that only the artwork is different, because both of these cars have new for 2023 logos on them, so it seems the diecasts themselves will actually be different. Just take a look at Mater, who's actually hoisted up. His front and back are both angled, which is something Mattel has done several times in the past on different Mater variants, such as Mater with Hood and One-Eyed Mater. They've done it all the time over the years, as Mater sort of contorts his body while doing different poses or getting excited or doing whatever, and the fact that they're doing this, I think, is awesome. For years, people have been asking for expression variants of Cars diecasts, and this Road Trip Mater is basically that. Road Trip Mater, to me, was one of the most disappointing releases of 2022 because it was just regular old Mater. They had the perfect opportunity to change his face, but they didn't, and now it seems like they'll be doing that. Or at the least, they'll be changing his body, but I highly doubt they'll change the body and not the face. The fact that they spent their resources to make this Mater different instead of just re-releasing the same old Mater again is something that I honestly really respect and appreciate. Now, we don't know if the 2023 Road Trip McQueen is going to be any different, but judging by the fact that it has a new for 2023 logo on it, and it also has new artwork, we could assume it'll probably also have an expression variant. I assume he's probably just going to be looking off to the side and smiling instead of looking forward and smiling. It won't be much, but I'd greatly appreciate that. For years, fans have been wanting, and collectors have been wanting, expression variants of the main characters. I've said in the past I would love it if for 1 year they just took the main Radiator Springs characters and changed their faces instead of releasing the same old ones again. And while I highly doubt they'll be doing that to any characters other than McQueen and Mater for 2023, I still think this is great. That they're going out of their way to provide us with variants of the cars of the main characters that we get every year with different faces. And of course, in the case of Mater, a different mold for his body. I just think this is really cool and really great. And while another variant of regular Road Trip McQueen isn't ideal to me, I'm kind of burnt out from the design already from the fact that they made 3 color changers of him. I just like the fact that we're getting an expression variant. It seems very similar to what they did with 2022 NASCAR McQueen, where they changed his face and they also changed his wheels, and then they proceeded to label him as new for 2022 because he was. I think what they're doing here is just awesome. It would have been nice if Road Trip Mater were different from the beginning, but, better late than never, I guess, right? And there you have it, guys. The first 3 diecasts revealed for 2023. I know not everyone cares about small variants to main characters to the extent that I do, but to me, having these expression change variants are just really, really cool, and it really gets me excited for what 2023 has to offer. If they have decided to go through the effort of making a new generic Mater and McQueen for 2023, instead of just making the same old ones again, then I have some pretty high hopes for what 2023 has in store. But there you have it, guys. The first 3 2023 Cars diecasts revealed, or rather the first 3 new diecasts. I've had some 2023 2-packs floating around for a while now. Probably am not going to do a video on them, but what I do plan on probably doing a video on are some other interesting rumors discovered by Trunk Fresh Green 34 regarding the Cars Tunes diecasts finally returning. Typically, I'd write that off as just another false rumor, but this was found through digging through Walmart's website, which is tended to be a pretty good place to find leaked Cars information in the past, and Trunk Fresh Green 34 has proven to be a pretty reputable source through the years. This is something that I think warrants its entire own separate video, so I'm definitely going to be addressing that soon. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you're hoping for in 2023 in the comments, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye now.